Hey everyone, welcome to a Sunday night stream. So the first thing I'm going to do is make sure that we are live on the different platforms. So hang with me 1 second while I do that. And then the other thing that I'm trying to do, let's just make sure, yes, we're going to share this. We're going to share this to the page. And then we're going to share this to a group. And that is here. Okay. Making sure that that is live. Sorry, bear with me. So tonight's live stream, we're going to be talking about what advice would I give myself if I were just starting out on YouTube. And this has come up because, you know, as I start to reflect, it's been 3-4 years that I've been on YouTube now. So it's really been a long time that I've been on YouTube. And sometimes you don't really think about that until you really start to have a conversation, you know, with other people, or you start to have a conversation and you realize, wow, not only do I know more than I thought I knew, but even though you always feel like there's so much to be learning, so much to do, you just feel like I'm so behind in this journey. And I think sometimes all of us feel like that at one point or another. But it's really interesting to just have a conversation with someone who is really just starting out on their YouTube journey. So I really want to have a conversation with y'all about, you know, what advice I would give myself if I was just starting out on YouTube, what I would do differently, what I would do just in general. So, and if you guys have questions during this time, make sure you drop them in the chat and maybe we can even go through some of them. And if you're here and you're listening, Turks and Caicos, that's amazing. Let me know, first of all, where are you watching from? Okay, so if that's Turks and Caicos, I don't know what time it is there, but let me know, because right now it is Sunday, 8:35 p.m. on a Sunday, but I don't know what it is where you are. Colorado, Honeybee Aesthetics, hello Juan, hello Lil Bear. So thank you for hanging out with me on a Sunday night, because, you know, I don't tell people I'm going live, so, you know, because priorities. New York City, nice, Travel Bees. Whew, nice, okay, awesome. So starting out, some advice that I would start with is all of those YouTube gurus that are always like, pick a niche, settle down, don't try and do everything. They're right. Okay. 1:36 p.m. on Monday. Oh, geez, where are you? Pokey Gangsters. Dotto Tech. Hey, it's so nice to see you. I hope you're staying safe up there in Vancouver. I was thinking about you the other day. It's so nice to see you. Oh, I'm so glad that you're here. Thank you for saying hi. And you're in Australia, 1:36 p.m. as well. Oh, geez. Wow. I love what YouTube does and brings everyone together. And it's just from all around the world. I love that so much. Steve, if you want to come on, I will send you a link, because it's been way too long since we've had a chat. And I would love to chat with you. Not to put you on the spot, but if you wanted to, the invitation is out there. Just let me know and I'll send you a link. So here's the deal. Some people have two schools of thoughts on this. Now I'm going to tell you both, and then you can kind of decide where you lie on what side of the fence here, okay? It's going to be, yeah, we should. You want to come on? Tell me that you want to come on, and I'll drop you a link in, I think we're Facebook friends or Twitter DMs. I'll send you a link, right? There are two schools of thought, right? You could be like, hey, no one's really watching you anyway. Throw some stuff against the refrigerator like spaghetti and see what sticks, and maybe something will take off. Maybe something will pique your interest. Maybe something will kind of get you excited and you'll keep wanting to do that. Oh, sweet. Okay, Facebook. Let me send a link here. 1 second while we do this. Copying to clipboard, going to Facebook. Oh, I'm so excited. I have a guest. I love this so much. So 1 second. Steve. Dun, dun, dun. All right. I just sent you the link. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm going to have a guest. This is amazing. Sometimes when you go live, you have no idea who's going to pop on, and there you go. Steve, I'm so excited to talk to you. Okay, so I'll wait for you to, oh, you're already here. Hello, welcome to the stream.
Oh, I just gotta turn off things. There we go.
Oh, I'm so glad that you're here. It's so nice. Thanks for just being like, yo, let's do it.
Yeah, I was just setting up a new monitor, a new setup, and I saw you on, and I thought I got to touch base because we've got some things I wanted to chat about.
I
And
know.
then there
I
you were.
know.
So I just thought I'd just listen in to see what was happening, and
It's
then I was going to
kismet,
say,
right? Oh, I
well,
love it so much. Actually, if some people on here don't know who you are, do you want to say a little bit about who you are? And we've known each other now for a few years, but it's kind of crazy if you think about it. But I'd love to introduce you to people.
oh, sure. Well, I'm a content creator, a YouTube publisher. We have a channel. Dotto Tech is our main channel, and it does productivity and content creation, how-to content. And then I also have another community, which is teaching people that look like me how to make a living online, which is called Gray Matters with Steve Dotto. I've got a podcast.
And you even have a podcast called that, and I think it's the most ingenious name. I love it so
it's
much.
for baby boomers and Gen Xers, and just because you millennials can't own the whole internet, we have to find a place.
You know, technically,
Hey, look,
I think I'm
haircut.
older than a millennial is, so you can't lump me into that category.
I know. I know.
I'm just saying.
I apologize.
No, it's fine.
Insensitive, but I'm feeling good because I got my hair cut this week. This is the first time in.
Oh, I haven't gotten my hair cut in I can't even.
Did I see you at Social Media Marketing World? Were you there?
No, I wasn't there.
It was Vid Summit last year.
It was Vid Summit last year, and then Vid Summit the year before. Justin Brown, Primal Video. Do you want to come on? You want to come join us? Hang out with us.
You're climbing the ladder.
No, what are you talking about? You're fantastic.
Before you know it, we're gonna have I don't know, PewDiePie on with us.
Oh yeah, sure, because he's got nothing else to do, right? Justin, if you want to get in on this live stream, say something, and I will send you the link, and you can pop on too. Love to have you.
It's not time where Justin is. It's Monday morning for him.
Well, whatever. It's 1 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah, well, he's in Australia. It's about, I don't know. It's probably like 8 in the morning.
I think they said it's 1:30. Someone else was in here from Australia. It's 1:30 Monday afternoon.
Monday afternoon. Okay.
I believe so. Justin, yeah, if you want to get in here, just let me know.
How are you doing? Have you been okay through this whole thing?
You know, not that much has changed, honestly, because I never left the house much anyway. Mm-hmm. And what's funny is today we actually left the house for the first time for me in a month. So my father passed away a month ago. And so I went home thank you. I went home a month ago in Eastern Washington to be there for that. But even before then, I hadn't left the house in 2 months. So today, for the very first time, because our state is in, those phases of reopening, we're in a modified phase 1.5. We're 1.5, not yet 2. So now you can be outside in groups of less than 5. So we decided, to just go out and take a walk in a neighborhood that's not ours, and it's quite nice. Me and my husband, and just kind of walking around and.
Yeah. We are in British Columbia. We're right, of course, adjacent to you, and we are in what we're calling the second phase. We're expanding the bubble, so we're allowed to have friends and family over, groups of 6 people. Your kid, my kids, came over for dinner finally. So
that's nice.
But as a YouTube creator, I kind of feel guilty. But I don't know how it's been for you. But my goodness, my channel has exploded over the last 2 months. Oh,
for the first few, maybe first month, there was an uptick in activity and people watching. So I was getting more view times than usual. And I think it's, people are home and they had the time. But I think as things have really started to reopen, it's kind of started to peter off a little bit. But I could see a lot of channels have just exploded.
Yeah, we saw massive, but where we settled back is 2x where we were before.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
I love that.
I kind of feel guilty about it.
Don't. Why would you feel guilty about that?
I was raised Catholic, and we're supposed to be
you're guilty about everything.
And I'm Canadian, so we apologize for everything. So, that's a lethal combination. It's just I feel guilty about things that I shouldn't, and I can't help it. And I'm sorry that I do.
Oh, gosh, there it is. There it is. Actually, so I had started the topic with, what is some advice maybe that you would give yourself if you were just starting out?
I love this topic.
I'm happy to talk about whatever you want to.
Well, no, because I just live streamed on this on Friday because we're just passing a milestone and on our channel. We're just about to hit 300,000 subscribers.
Oh my gosh.
I went back to my first videos and I just posted about the lessons that I learned kind of looking back at those first videos and what we're teaching now and what I've kind of learned and what I do differently and what I did right.
Oh my God, I would love to hear it.
Yeah, well, I mean, all of the things that we teach are so true. But you started. I was just hearing you start.
Yeah, I was starting about the whole
niching down. And about trusting. And so where do you sit on that? Because I'm of the opinion that the narrower you can be, the more focused you can be, the stronger your channel will end up being.
Okay, so I was saying that you can be on a couple sides of the fence here. And so I was saying I was going to say both and then kind of say where I landed at the end. Spoiler alert. Yeah, I'm with you. So I was saying that you can kind of, because no one's watching your channel, you can kind of toss stuff at like spaghetti into the refrigerator, see what sticks, and then kind of see if something pops off. That's one way to do it. The other way is to go hyper-focused, hyper-niche, very detailed, more depth than breadth, and really become like an expert in something. And then as you start to grow your influence, kind of sliver off and get a little wider piece of the pie and then a little bit more and bring more into the fold. But really starting with something very, very specific. So I know like you had done a ton of content around like Evernote, and then you even had like an e-course around Evernote, and you kind of went really hard on that before you ever did anything else. Oh, hold on. We're going to add one more.
Oh, there he is. Oh, good
Look
Lord.
who's here.
Hey, brother.
How you doing?
Okay, so I'm going to let you finish and talk about this, but I'm going to say two things here real quick. So one, welcome Justin to the stream. Since I just kind of tossed you in here, I'd love to have you introduce yourself in case people don't know who you are. And then two, we're having this debate on, not debate, but things that we wish maybe we would have known when we first got started on YouTube, and just lessons. So we're going on that, but you want to tell people a little bit about yourself?
So I'm Justin Brown. I run a channel with my brother Mike called Primal Video, and that's where we help people grow an audience and scale their revenue with online video. So we've learned a lot from both of you guys here, so it's awesome to be here.
Shut up. I've learned so much from you all the time. I was doing your trick the other day about the timer bar across the bottom from one of your videos. I was looking at that and I'm like, oh, look at that.
If you've learned so much from me, Justin, why am I giving you $37 a month every month to learn from you?
Because it's putting it back in the community.
I want my money back.
And that's deservingly so. Yeah.
But you know, it could just be the next time you have another product, Justin will buy it, right?
Yeah, sure. No, the next product we're doing is for baby boomers. He's got a ways to go before he can catch up.
Don't you start with sell me. That's like the worse than like sell me this pen.
No.
Those are gross. Those are so gross. So where do you land on this whole, when you are first starting a channel, do you believe that you should be a bit more focused and niche, or do you believe that variety is the spice of life?
It's interesting. Where we started was more niche, more specific than we are now. We started out as video editing coach. I thought there was a bit of a hole in the market, and all the editing tutorials were super in depth. And I'm like, no one needs to know all of this stuff unless you're making a film or a documentary. So what do the entrepreneurs and the business owners need? So that's where we started with video editing coach, and then realized that, you know, if you're editing and just knowing editing alone is only going to get you so close to having an amazing video, because if your footage isn't up to scratch, you can polish it, but you're still polishing something.
Polishing a turd.
Right. I didn't want to say it on your channel, but yeah,
it's okay.
Pretty much.
I completely agree.
Yeah, so that's where we started releasing tips on how you could film better, so that you could edit better and obviously end up with a better video from there. And so if anything, we've gone much more broad. I remember saying to a few people early on, I never want to be teaching video marketing. I don't want to be one of those people. Yet that's kind of the umbrella that all of this stuff fits under. So,
I'm like, weren't you just putting out videos about how to hire remote workers and email lists?
Yesterday's was email list.
I know.
How to grow your email list.
Yeah, how's that going, not being a video marketer?
Yeah, but I now see that it is actually really important. Like, what's the point in making a video if no one sees it, or if it doesn't have some sort of impact in the greater community, or impact for you personally, whether that's your business or whatever that might be for you. So there's got to be a return on implementing video. So that's falls under video marketing.
Now, one thing I love so much about hanging out with both of you. So both of you, I met Vid Summit 2018. It was. And so, Steve, I think we just happened, were you at the Gary Vee lunch? Were you sitting on the opposite side of me? And then Justin and Mike, you're sitting on the opposite side of me, and you're getting pelted from both sides on like, why don't you have a course? Where's your email list? Where it is like,
that.
it's still 2 years later. And I'm just like, I'm such a disappointment that I
You're
remember
on the
vividly.
children's table. You're on the children's table with Steve and I.
I was
Yeah.
at the children's table at the
Nobody else would sit with us.
table.
We actually had to
That's
ask for the
true.
wrangler.
No, I saw you guys. I zeroed in. I was like, oh, I want to sit there. I was like, can I sit here? So I totally sat by you guys. But I remember.
I think we said no. I think we said no, but you sat down
and I
anyway,
said, I'm going to sit down anyway. And I remember being so intimidated. And you guys were super nice, by the way. So don't worry. But remember like leaving that being like, oh, this is a thing. This is like a business. This is like big girl
but you
school
made the
where
course,
you like,
right?
where you like, shh, that's not the point. I'm saying,
Not yet.
I remember
not yet.
though
You can
thinking
sign
back
up.
then.
Like the
I know.
course
I
that we
remember thinking
talked
back then though that this was like, oh, this is where you make your money and you build your influence and you get on stages and you talk to people as you do all this stuff that I had no idea how to do. And even though I haven't fully done it yet because I am horrible at fully executing any thought because I'm the squirrel and I will do 50 things halfway and then accomplish nothing. So I fully know that about myself. So I am working very hard to make improvements on that. But I will say that that lunch has always had a major impact on me. You know, we're talking almost 3 years later.
Wow.
But you still haven't made the course.
I know.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so for those of you that are interested in the course, let Shelly know down in the comments below.
Wasn't it on? It was on using iMovie.
There's
wasn't it?
two. Yeah, there's iMovie Made Easy and Final Cut Pro Made Easy. And then I did just,
Not
though,
like people don't
finally
need to know
announce.
that.
Yeah, I did announce recently that finally, like, I had this well-kept secret that, like, I offer one-on-one YouTube coaching. And, like, nobody knew that. So I said it once, like, on a live stream in passing, like 15 seconds, like a year ago. And I'm like, how come I don't have any people, like, knocking on my door? And it's like, oh, because you have to keep talking about it. And so that's been a big, it feels like a little icky, but I'm trying to work through the whole, like, telling people what I can do to help them and having that be okay that costs money.
See, can I chastise you one more time then?
Always.
Since we're
Always.
on the Shelly thing. So I heard you start this live stream, and I just happened to be online. You were probably as well, Justin. And I listen to the very beginning, you say, I don't tell people when I'm coming on because I just like to start. And so I've got to ask you a couple of really important questions.
Uh-oh.
Why the hell don't you schedule it and promote it so people who like you and want to learn from you?
I have done that in the past, and it works out much better.
Seems a little selfish to me. You're not telling people
it
when
is
you're going
so
live.
selfish. Be like, this is when I'm going to be online. And if you want to hang out with me, this is when you have to be online with me.
But people come with intent then. Now
I
they're
know.
across it, and they're going to be in and out. If you say, I'm going to be live on Sunday night at 7 o'clock, people are going to go, oh, I want to catch it because I know she says intelligent stuff, and I want to learn from her. And then they come with intent. They stay longer. They listen more. And you get to build a relationship more rather than, I was bored, so I thought I'd do something tonight. So, not that I'm happy to see you.
Listen, I resemble that comment, and I resent it at the same time.
What drives me crazy about live streaming is that people, because live streaming as it is something that people so often stumble across. But if you make it an appointment, people will get so much more value out of what you teach because they come receptively.
And if you work with me, I will tell someone to do that this way. I just don't do it for myself. It is literally a do as I say, not as I do type of program.
Love it.
Yeah. I know this about myself.
Well,
but you're right. You're right. You're both right.
I'm old. I have experience. I've made
seasoned.
You know, one of the best stories though from Steve is like you talking about you putting out your first course and it coming from a place of almost fear because you needed to make a certain dollar amount to make your mortgage, but then being overwhelmed with the support that you received from your community and the relationships that you had built. And I would love to hear a little bit about how you were able to just bite the bullet and be like, this is what I offer. This is how much it is. This is the day it's released. And having people just be like, embrace it with open arms, being like, yes, we'll take all of it. Give us more.
Because it wasn't the first course I did. It was the first course that I was successful with. And the first course that I was successful with didn't come from me, but it came from my community. I had posted videos on Evernote, and people were starting to watch them, and they liked them, and they were asking me for more. And one thing that I've always said, the reason that we've had a moderately successful channel is I read every comment that is posted. And so I'm constantly in dialogue with my audience. And so when they kept telling me that they wanted more about Evernote, I mean, I follow Marcus Sheridan. You know, they ask, you answer. If you listen to what your community tells you they want and you deliver it, that's the basis of a really healthy relationship. So they told me they wanted the Evernote course. And by the time, so, you know, and then it takes you a little bit of time to build it. So since I knew I was going to be doing it, I continued to lean into that space. By the time that we launched it, the market was primed. I knew what they wanted. It was successful. And I didn't expect it to be, because previously I'd said, oh, I've got a great idea for a course. People need this. And I would create a course and I would try and shove it down their throat. And it was like pushing a piece of string. When you let your audience lead you, it's like pulling a piece of rope.
I think, yeah, that's such a good analogy. And actually I had heard from someone else before that they had created a course. It launched, they created like a wait list for it. It tanked, like no one signed up even for like the wait list, not even put a deposit down, just like no one signed up. And so she's like, I'm so glad that I didn't spend 6 months of my life creating the content for this perfect course and then no one even bought it. So she's like, I went back to my community, asked what they wanted all of this stuff, and then we started selling it, and then we drip fed it week by week, and I was still making content as we were going the first round and like listening to their feedback. And she's like, but imagine if I'd spent 6 months creating all that content and then to have it flop. So I don't know, Justin, if you also feel like sometimes it's better to create the course and then have people come to it, or you create the course as people ask for stuff.
We take that same approach with our YouTube content as well. It's very rarely the content that I think that people want. We basically do the keyword research, or look at the amount of questions that come through on the particular topic and then look at the search volumes. We don't hit and hope. It's not the content that I think people need. I look at what they're searching for. We look at what people are searching for, and we create those videos. And that way we're able to meet them with exactly what they're typing in to Google or to YouTube, and create those videos and then take them with where I think that they need to go, or how I can help them with that. And so it's a big distinction, because YouTube is a search engine. So we take that same approach into courses and products and everything else as well, is to do the research first. And it's while you might know the quickest way to get someone from A to B, what they might not even be looking at A, in which case you're not going to land your product with them. You're speaking a totally different language with them. So you've got to find the A.1 or whatever it is that they're searching for, and then take them from A to B from there. Once you're speaking the language, once that they know that you get where they're at and that you can help them, and they trust you to be the one that's going to help them with that. So I totally get it. Run any course, any program as a beta, as a live if you can, because we see so many people that are creating the most polished, perfect course, and it's just a procrastination point. And the course, every time you see them, like, oh, I'm still filming that thing. Yeah, 6 months, 12 months later, it's like,
and they end up, because they're not getting any feedback, they overbuild and overbuild and overbuild to the point
I think that is definitely something that happened to me, because I was like, I need this content to be perfect. I want people's minds to be blown. And then I just like, no.
Justin gave me some great advice about building a community and the amount of content to put into courses. And they've got a lot of experience with their people, how much they're actually consuming. And it's far less than you think.
Yeah,
I love that hit and hope comment that you said, because that is so true. Sometimes you are just like swinging, and if you have that research, if you have the people telling you that's what they want, it's not that. It's like very calculated in a good way. But I would love to hear, since both of you actually have courses and have been able to finish the damn thing, which I have not. Here's something. How do you decide what goes into your paid courses, what goes into your free content? And I've heard some people say, like, hey, a lot of the free content is the same, but it's curated in a paid one and told to you in order with more detail. But I would love to hear if you guys have thoughts on what do you give away for free and what do you include in a paid course?
Justin, you go first.
Okay, well, so no, I love this question. We get this question all the time. What's the difference between the free stuff that you put out and what's the difference when you paid membership? And it's simple. Like the paid membership is to serve the masses. Everyone goes to YouTube for free stuff, to learn how to figure things out for themselves. They're going to Dr. Google, right? They may not even be interested in ever paying for a course or product at that point. They just want to solve their immediate pain or their immediate problem. So we create our YouTube content to do that. It's there for the masses. How can we help and impact so many people with our content? Inside of our courses and program, it's the deep dive into that stuff. It's the fast track. It's everything in one place that you need, so that you don't have to go and watch 20 hours and randomly watching content on YouTube that may or may not help you. But it's also more than that. It's Like for us, it's what else can we give that we can't give on YouTube? And it's the step-by-step processes and checklists and templates and things that we use. So how can we help people get better results faster? How do they can jump that learning curve without sitting there? Is this video going to help me? Is this video going to help me? I've seen one from that guy before. And you kind of just waste a lot of time. So it's results faster is
it's
really
collated and curated, right? It's kind of,
that's it.
Yeah.
I've seen great membership sites as well that all they do is curate, as you said, their free content off a platform like YouTube, but it's in a logical format. So start here, then this one, then this one. And once you're at this level, then you're going to need these videos. People will pay for that just to be guided through the process.
Just to feel like taken through a transformational process with a clear roadmap. And I think that's sometimes the security is what people are paying for. And then people like myself try and make it more complicated, thinking it's more than that, when it really isn't. A lot of the time, it's just taking people from where they are to closer to where they want to be. And that's, but Steve, how about you?
Well, I'm 100% in agreement with what Justin says. I mean, it's, Amy Porterfield talks about this a lot in her content. She talks about the fact that, she very much talks about the curated, the fact that it's all organized for people. But I do like what Justin said. The thing is, you don't hold back. The thing that drives me the most crazy about content creators is says, come here and I'll teach you this. And then they don't teach you it, but they say, join here and I will teach.
Yeah.
That false hope. So you tell them exactly what they need, but if you can then enrich it with the process, create more organization, create accountability, bring them. Don't ever dismiss the value of the fact that you're teaching the same thing to one person at one time. They will learn a certain amount of it, but as soon as they're brought into a community with 18 or 20 or 30 other people, that it sticks. They hear it from another perspective. They have suddenly a support network. They can bounce things off. All those things add the value of the course if you deliver the course synchronously or if you have a community. So there's all these other ways that we add value, but we've got to give our nuggets away. We've got to share our best content because that's how we establish authority. That's how we build trust. And trust, of all of the assets that you have online, trust is the most valuable asset that we can generate as content creators.
That's so true.
Totally agree. How would you feel if you clicked on a video and it's like, how to do this, and you got 3/4 of the way through and it's like, oh, this isn't even covering it. This is promoting their webinar or their pitch for a course or something. It's like, you got to give them everything that they need to match that promise, which is the title of your video. So whatever they've typed in, whatever they've clicked on, give them everything that they need. For them to like and to share your video, it has to be full self-encompassing, and if anything, over-deliver. If you can give them something else that you know as the expert in the content you're creating, if you know where they're going to get stuck after implementing that, like that, after you've done this, the next thing you know is this. If you can solve that for them as well, mind blown.
Before they even know it's a problem.
That's it.
It's amazing.
Take a look at Justin's channel's growth as a result of that. When I first met Justin 3 years ago now, was it?
Maybe before I had gray hair.
You guys were just starting. Yeah, I look the same. But you guys were just starting out. And because of the commitment to delivering what you were telling your community you were in your videos, I mean, you guys have just exploded. And the growth in the channel authority and the, it's been 3 years of like every year, it's like big step ahead. But it's because you're following those tenets, right?
I feel like your channel has really, even in this last year, just kind of gone like gangbusters, like bananas. And it's been much faster in this year than it has been in the years previous, right?
Don't worry, we'll just delete it. Sorry. It has. And that's where there's a lot of people that talk around the different strategies. And a lot of people either sit on like the suggested content strategy or the SEO content strategy. For us, we are 95 to 99% SEO strategy. We'll do the research before we create a video. It's much easier to get reliable, replicable results than a hit and hope trying to piggyback off someone else's video, or trying to work with the YouTube algorithm to feature your content. And even then, if you manage to get some content that's featured, it's beyond your control as to how long it will stay featured and those sorts of things. So that's why we stick to one video a week. And it's one that we've done the keyword research up front. We know the pain or the problem that people have. And yeah, every year we redo a handful of videos. Best video editing software on Windows, on Mac.
I've seen that on your phone.
And I even get comments like, oh, must be start of the year because here's Justin's stock standard videos again. But I mean, those videos, they're the ones that we know have big search volumes. They're our ideal audience.
You can just go in and change the title from 2019 to 20.
No, don't
just
do
delete
that.
the old one, upload the new one. Yeah, exactly the same. Yeah.
No.
So
I have seen people do that, and I feel like that's kind of like weird, gross. Let's just make the new updated video, because I'm sure like even while the information, some of it may be the same, I just feel like it's wrong to tell people it's a new video and it's not. Just make the new video, even if it refers to so much of the same stuff, and then link the other one in the notes and be like, if you want to see what I said last year about the same topic, look at this one. I don't know. For me, I would not go to an old video and change the year and be like, here you go.
Can I ask you a question, Justin?
Yeah.
I know you do a ton of keyword research and you teach it really well. If you launch a video and it doesn't get the traction that you were expecting out of the gate, like I'll go in and I'll change the title. Do you go in and change the title, or are you that committed to your keywords?
So we're committed for 3 months, right? So a lot of people go in and they tweak and change things.
That's it.
Hours. No. So we don't ever expect for a video to just take off immediately. And some videos, I think the one we released last week was DaVinci Resolve tutorial. I think that's at 15,000 or something within a week, which given a channel of our size, most of our views come from non-subscribers. So we don't create subscriber-centric content because one week I could be talking about iPhones, next week it's Android, the next week it's PC or Mac. So it could be 4 weeks before I have another video for you that's of interest. But having an SEO strategy, most of our views are coming from people searching for something and then finding us, and maybe they watch 3 or 4 videos before they actually subscribe. So that's where the subscriber numbers don't matter so much in our overall strategy. It's for showing up in search results, answering that pain or problem. And it's the views and the impact with the individuals more so than the subscriber number is what we're looking at. But back to your point earlier, it is easy to remake those videos because the crux of the structure is already done. The keyword research is going to be pretty much exactly the same, but we're lucky that we're in a tech space where this stuff is changing all the time. So I don't think I've ever had a video where it's like, you know what, it's exactly the same as last year. Nothing has changed. So it's not worth updating. So that makes it easier.
Talk about long tail. Before you joined us, Justin, I was telling Shelly that I just did a live stream where I went back and looked at my first videos that I published because I just did a live stream talking about the lessons I've learned.
I never want to go back.
We're just about to hit 300,000 subscribers. So what have I learned?
That is awesome.
Yeah,
massive congratulations.
Thanks, buddy. But I look back at the first videos and as I was going in the analytics for them, which like my first ones are 8 years ago. As I'm going in the analytics, it's like they're still getting 20, 30 views a day, making me $3-4. And I'm going, who's watching an Asana video from 2012? But people are still watching, and I'm still generating subscribers from it.
Yeah. And that's the coolest part about YouTube, though. Like we have videos that they're not that old, but they're like 5 years old that are still bringing in 1,000 views a day. And it's like, okay, this is where we don't make too much content that is timely. Yeah. We look at what are the topics that are going to stand the test of time. How do I not do too many product reviews because products will come and go. If there's a good product and it's something I like the Rode wireless microphones, I think were the last thing that we did because like they are amazing. And,
those are cool. So, I want to try those.
Yeah. So we hold back on those kinds of things unless it's something that we're really passionate about. Like this is a product that's going to help people with their content.
But you're doing one video a week. We look at Sean, and he's doing how many is Canal releasing? Like
73? But he's got a team of how many people, and he's not even in all of his own videos anymore.
Yeah. So I'm just waiting for that moment. All of that.
He's got Omar and Heather on screen now doing videos under the umbrella of Think Media, and it's like that's not the same, but. Okay.
Oh, it could be a really smart business decision.
No, it's completely smart.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it isn't, but I'm saying it's not the same as Justin. Your face is in every single one of your videos, or Steve.
That's because have you met his brother? He just can't.
I think his brother is lovely.
Right, we
He's
get
lovely.
comments like, Where's Mike? When's Mike going to do another video?
Yeah,
He's
like-
done a couple on the channel.
Shannon
Yeah.
just walked by. She looked and she goes, "Is it? Oh, it's Justin." Oh, well.
Okay, and left. Yeah, it's for the best. It's for the best. And I'm sorry that your views went down massively when I joined.
No,
have
not
idea.
I don't
I can't
care.
see it.
I don't care at all. So let me ask you. So there's two questions then. One, tell me about the first video you ever uploaded. If it's still on your channel, if it's on a different channel, if it's still public, whatever. So I definitely want to hear about that. But then I thought it was really great where you just talked about, we don't do a lot of timely content. And that's definitely a strategy that some people have taken on their channel, is that a lot of what they do is very, very timely. And those channels, I think, have a hard, like gossip channels. Like you have to stay relevant with what's happening like right now. And that is chasing a different audience and a different type of community than something that is maybe not even driven by subscribers, and because you don't have mainly subscribers watching, because you make content that is just helping them as a utilitarian type of content, and then they leave, and hopefully you just get them to keep coming back. So
Well,
I'd love to
it
hear
is
a
a
little
totally-
bit about both.
It's a totally different strategy, because you would get more views on your videos faster if you were creating that timely content, because you're able to teach and train your audience so they have to keep coming back every week to get the latest whatever it is, or daily, like the Philip DeFranco show, right? You're going to keep checking in. So it's not to say that there's nothing wrong with that strategy, or either way, there's just a different approach. So for us, I'd much rather do less videos but have them relevant for longer. That's kind of how we went now. Yeah.
And you'll find channels, as you start to do the research, we tend to get caught up on the ones that grow really rapidly and catch our attention with these meteoric rises. And they're typically based on a really strong personality or a really strong editing of the channel.
I'm not
a
personality.
Yeah.
Yes, you
exactly.
are.
But those, I mean, we've all got personality that we inject, but one of the things, and when I used to do my TV show, people used to ask me about this. We all make our content the star of our show. We're not the star of our show.
Yeah.
See, that's the difference. Is if the personality becomes the star of the show, then you've got the chance for it to grow far more rapidly, because people engage that much more with that individual. You have to have a reasonable personality. But I've researched channels. There's a woodworking guy I follow who when I look at his analytics, because he shares a little bit with me, his analytics are like 97% of his views are from subscribers, and his subscribers.
Okay.
Yeah,
wow.
and he releases one video a month type thing, and they watch his retention is
All of
like
it.
88% of the video gets watched of a 30-minute video. And so what a bizarre model. Like for us, we just go, it's almost unthinkable.
Like it's mind-boggling. Like it's frying my brain right now. I'm like,
but I
think we average 6 to 9% of our views come from subscribers.
I think I'm at 4%. 4% from subscribers.
I'm a little higher.
Yeah.
I'm about between 11 and 18% right now.
Nice.
But I think that's really had a blip, because we've been doing a lot on Zoom lately, and I don't know if you noticed.
Oh yeah,
but it's like hot as can be. So and we got lots of channel authority right now with Zoom. So every time I put a Zoom video, it goes boop. So it goes for a while. But what Justin was saying was, so much of the teaching about growing a YouTube channel is focused on getting those subscribers, asking for that subscribe, those sorts of things. And for search-based channels, that's not the end all be all. And Justin shows it. I mean, and by that patient line. But what are the keys? Doing good research. How important is the consistency that you've been week after week, grinding it out, getting it out there, serving the community, never missing? How important is that?
I don't think we've actually missed one, but yes, the consistency is there. And where we started was, I guess, where everyone starts, where we committed to do a video a week, and it would literally take me the week to come up with a topic, shoot the video, edit the video, create the thumbnail, whatever. And like even the thumbnail stuff, it was an afterthought. It was the last 5 minutes before the video goes live, slap something together. Your thumbnail strategy, super important. You got the best video. Right? If you don't get the click, what's the point? So we can dive down rabbit holes from here around any of these topics. But yeah, consistency then the game became, how can we do this more efficiently? So it's not taking me a week. Like no matter how much time you designate, you will take up that time.
It
if
takes
you say,
exactly
I've only
as
got
much
a day,
time as you allocate, right?
that's it.
Always.
So if you're like,
Yep.
Yeah. So what we do is we prep and plan over the period of 1 week. So we're saying, we're going to lock down our topics. We'll pick 8, and sometime over this week, we are going to get all the keyword research done. We're going to research the videos and all of those things. Now, the reason we don't just say 1 day is something will happen on that day. Likewise with filming, when we then move into the filming week, which is the week after, sometime over that week, I'm going to produce 8 videos. And it's never that I just lock out 1 day, because it could be someone out with a leaf blower, could be a thunderstorm, could be neighbors' kids, whatever it is. And trust me, like last week, three days, couldn't film. Construction, whatever, power going off. But at that point, it's never like, oh shoot, I now can't film, I don't have a video to release, because it's these arbitrary deadlines that we set ourselves. It doesn't matter if you miss a week. Do your best to be consistent, but it's not like your channel is going to drop off and die at that point. But it's that overwhelm and stress that people put on themselves by not giving themselves enough leeway, enough freeboard in the content or in the time that they're estimating or allocating for them to produce their content in. So I'll just say, in this week,
and that's for you.
Yeah.
But we were just talking about Phil DeFranco. When he misses a day, when he takes 3 days off because he's just so stressed, like it's the world ended,
different,
right?
Yeah.
So it's expectations in finding those things as well. You know, what's your channel all about? You know your channel, you know your market, and so you're relaxed within it.
Yep. And that's where it's,
you were just saying that you're basically shooting 8 videos. You're batch shooting 8 videos over a course of a week.
Yeah. Yep. Wow. So last week I didn't get through all 8 because we decided to set up for a webinar and stuff. So
you only record once every 2 months?
No. Ideally, I mean that's the plan, is that we shoot 6 to 8. We prep 8. I normally film 8. We do have a decent backlog, but things change in there. So 2 tutorials that I've got in the backlog right now, I actually need to update before they release because stuff's changed, which is a little frustrating, but it doesn't happen too often. So we then try to prioritize those to the top of the list, so those sorts of things. But no, it's not that we have filmed.
Great comments here, by the way. Charles says, no one expects a Spanish Inquisition. With your unexpected.
On the screen.
Sorry.
There we go.
There he goes.
So you can see I was really prepped for this, having phones go off and stuff in the middle of live.
No, I think that one was mine. I was looking at...
It's because Shelly doesn't schedule these.
Too soon. That's too soon. Yeah, well, I am actually going to have to love you and leave you. Thanks for having me on.
No, thanks for coming in. That was so nice
to your
of you to pop in.
live stream.
Yeah,
that's good.
Maybe we'll actually have to do unscheduled. What?
Oh no! Don't push it. Don't promise it. Don't promise it, because then people.
You're right. People might expect it. It's too much pressure.
We'll catch up later this week. You're doing your webinars this week, right, Justin?
No, so I never announced it. So it's actually next week.
Shut up.
We'll keep that on the.
We'll catch up later. You and I have some things to discuss.
All right, sounds good. Good to see you both.
Ominously.
Good to see you.
Yeah, I'm quickly hiding. All right.
I will find you.
I'm not going to work out how to leave this. I'll just,
I know. I think I can just remove you. I'll remove you. And then you can always pop off.
Glad we got rid of him.
Bye. I know, right? What a mood killer.
Bunch of air going, nothing of intelligence coming out of that yap at all.
I always have to pretend to be nice to him because, like, I don't know. And then with accents, it's nice, but whatever. I'm glad he's gone. I'm kidding. I love him.
I'm a big fan of Justin too.
Me too. He's so nice.
I'm a member of his community. Yeah.
I didn't know that. I didn't know.
Yeah.
That's
I'm just
really
trying
awesome.
to steal all of his good ideas. I just want to see, because he runs a great community.
I would do the same.
Membership.
Tell me though a little bit about running a community. So I had started a Facebook group, and we're very small. It's like 75 people in this, and I'm having not difficulty, but I'm just like, I want to try and do stuff to be like active there, but I'm not exactly sure like what is the best type of stuff to put in there. So I'm trying to put some like free resources, or like ask them like, do you guys want to talk about some sort of topic? Or
so I'm learning. in that space. And I've never been a big fan of like Facebook groups and I didn't want to start a membership site for my own business. I resisted it for the longest time, but I've learned in the last year or so quite a bit about what makes it work. And we've got a fairly vibrant group going now on Facebook, but it's because I have niched into a community. It's for baby boomers. It's for
Right.
people who look like me, who are trying to remain relevant online and want to figure out how they can do what I've done, basically. Or, you know, they want to do that. And the tipping point for us, what's made it now doing quite well, is I don't moderate it that much. I'm in there. I engage in conversations. I don't generate content. I have a community manager who does. April does. She does some kind of fire starter type stuff.
Okay.
But the
A
real
community
key-
manager. That's a good idea.
But the key is, I think, is that we've reached a tipping point that the community is starting to share their concerns, their successes, their stories. And so that now it's becoming something that people go to, not to necessarily hear what Steve has to say, but to see what, they're getting to know each other in the community. And our focus is on point with what's important in their lives. And it hit that point when it was a fairly large number. It didn't happen in the first couple of hundred people that we had in. It was like really grinding it out. Probably once we went over 600 or 700, it started to. Certainly once we went over 1,000, it started to really pick up steam. But we also focus a lot of our content. I do live streams in it on a regular basis. Like on Fridays, we do a live stream through the community to add extra traction to it and make sure that there's more and more people coming in and that sort of stuff. But I scheduled them so people could know.
Steve, I don't need that kind of negativity, or actually maybe I do. I don't know.
I'm like a dad. I can't let it go. I just keep going and going. But it gives me something to bug you about rather than you not having your course out yet. So that's
something new. Yeah, something new to
but so I think patience is a real virtue there, but also staying really focused on task, on what the needs of your community are. That's got to be right up there.
Yeah, I think probably once the community gets a little bit bigger, there will be other people asking questions and doing things. And I do feel a little bit more like there is nothing that will happen unless I start a conversation, unless I bring up a topic, so it's very not disheartening, but also like it's harder because then even if I do, it doesn't mean that anybody necessarily responds because not a lot of them are in there like very often. So then they'll just be like different posts of me like saying like, hey, like, what's your latest thumbnail that you posted on like a video, which you would think would be fairly simple, but like no one responds on it. Now the next one is like, hey, so it's a learning curve because it's it's very, very small.
And you feel like you're posting to crickets when that happens. And
yes,
that is a challenge.
Yeah.
That is really difficult. And I feel for you, but all I can say is stay the course and you will get there.
I feel like everything that I'm doing is always just 3 years too late. So I'm working on it, and like the things that I was supposed to do 3 years ago, I'm starting to finally do now. I don't know if it's just I'm stubborn, and I think I said this about I'm just very bad at finishing anything because I like to think. I think myself out of doing instead of just doing and trying to figure out later, if that makes sense.
I think we all wish that we had been more diligent or kind of stayed on a path. There's the regrets. Not worthwhile.
G. Michael just says the hits just keep on coming.
Obviously, that's right. Obviously, next time you're not going to. Steve's here. Oh, let's just ignore him. Let's pretend we didn't see him. But I mean, the thing is, you obviously have a community that engages with you and cares for you and wants. So one thing that makes a difference is when you start to feel responsibility to them as opposed to yourself. If when you do get a piece of content out that they start to rely on, and then that it's making a difference for them, and then they start asking for you, that can be a little bit of an impetus that really helps kick things over. The roadblocks, what we do is so difficult because we're doing it on our own in a vacuum. And and we all have a certain degree of imposter syndrome, and we're
Oh my
concerned
gosh,
about
yes. I did an entire podcast episode about imposter syndrome and how I am like the president of the club, but I shouldn't be because I'm not good enough to be even that. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm not just the president, I'm a member.
Yeah, right.
So.
Exactly. So I mean, we all experience that, but you know, and getting over it, it doesn't matter what age you are, you face it. And it's that much harder when you work on your own.
And
You
I
don't
think
have a
you're
team,
right.
do
The
you?
whole
You don't
being
have a
in a
team.
vacuum thing, like just even, you know, the first time that I went to Vid Summit, talking to you, talking to Justin, talking to people, and it was like, oh, this is a thing. People make money from this. This is like a business. This is like, and you never get that because you are literally by yourself in a room talking to a camera, and you don't know until you talk to other people that this is how things can be done or should be or could be done.
Yeah. And it's, as far as I'm concerned, it's the best living possible. You know, you don't have a boss. Nobody tells you how much money you can make. You get to make a difference in people's life. You get to know them. When I did TV, people think TV is great. Like most of your community probably doesn't know, but I did a TV show for 20 years in Canada. My audience, it didn't matter who my audience was. My customer was advertising executives and network executives and a bunch of just total dicks. When I started doing YouTube, all of a sudden my audience were my customers. And it was an epiphany for me. It was so fantastic to be able to make content for the people that watched and have relationships with real people and make a difference in their lives, not deliver what an advertising executive wanted from some really big company, and making sure that I, you know, kept the network executives happy from another really big company, you know, neither of which cared about me two hoots.
Oh yeah.
We're really lucky. We're in a lucky space.
Yeah. I mean, yes, you're correct. And it's funny because I think I always, you know, years later, you're kind of looking backwards and you're kicking yourself being like, why didn't I start this sooner? And I would imagine that most people who are probably on this platform or have wanted to be on this platform have been in that same situation where like, why didn't I start making videos 8 years ago, 5 years ago, 3 years ago? Or why didn't I put out that course? Or why didn't I get farther than I am now? And it's one of those, I don't know if it's ever like enough is enough.
No. And done is better than perfect. You know, you got to pay attention.
I know.
You got to stop saying it. Just do it, though, Shelly. That's it.
I know. Well, I was actually on a live stream. It wasn't last Sunday. It was last Monday. So Monday of this last week. And so I was on there and I was telling people like, yeah, I offer YouTube coaching. No one knows about it. Apparently it's just this well-kept secret. And so I got off of that live stream and I was just like, you know what? Everything's already still set up. I need to just get this off my chest and be like, this is how you work with me. This is what I offer. And I would never usually, like 2 years ago, probably be like, this is what I do. And I charge money for it or anything. But I was so frustrated with myself after this. I was just like, I have to say something. So like, I just did a quick live stream. I got it off my chest. I was like, this is how you work with me. This is what I do. This is what I offer. And I just left it. And I was just like, yeah. So now if someone asks, how do I work with you? I just be like, I have a video on that. And here it is. And at least it's something. And it was like messy. And if I had waited until I had scripted it and done all these like B-roll shots or all this like fancy stuff, I just would have never done it. I just would have never done it. And it's like, I still cringe at it and it's still not great. But I was just like, hey, there's a video out there now that exists of me telling people that I offer coaching services. And if they want to work with me, this is how they do that. So I'm like, at least it's something, you know?
It is.
I mean, it's not great. And it could be the Justin Brown next year. I will fix it and be like, that video was awful. Let's redo it for 2021 or whatever it is.
You save it and use it as an example of every journey starts with the first step. And here was mine.
Tell me about your first video. You were saying that though, about you watched your first video 8 years ago.
This has got to be the last story because I've got a few things I got to get done before it's getting dark out. The very first video I did, it was after I did my TV show. It was back in 2013. I had heard of ScreenFlow and played with a little bit. And I thought I'm just going to try and see what it's like doing a video. Because for me, doing videos involved a TV crew and a full setup and all that sort of stuff. So well, let me give it a shot. And funnily enough, the very first video I did was how to delete your Facebook account. back in 2013 or so. That was what, and there was no thumbnail, there was no music, the lighting was awful. I was using the webcam that's built into my old Mac, and it was a brutal thing. And my mic was way too low. I had actually this mic, but for doing some radio voiceover work, but I didn't have it configured right. So the gain was too low, and it's a bad video, and it's got about 1,000 views. The next one I did was on using a tool called Rogers One Number. Rogers is a telecommunications carrier in Canada, and it did a little bit better. And then I slowly started to figure it out. But when the big jump was in getting views was the day I started to use thumbnails. Because back in the day, I just video, and then all of a sudden I started thumbnails, and all of a sudden you can actually see, boom, lots more views. And and it kind of went on from there. And for my first 2 years, for the first 2 years, or even more, I just went kind of 2 years ahead. I was super consistent. I published once a week. I was publishing really consistently content. And I can remember sometimes that was a real struggle. But as Justin said, that made a big difference. And it ranks in search. It's not subscribers. It's the same kind of idea.
Are you a big believer in batch shooting too?
When I can. I like to do my podcast in batch, but I stopped doing that because COVID-19 has just changed. You're tone deaf if you're not paying attention to what's happening every day. So I try and do, rather than batch producing, I produce just one at a time, but we have a very compressed schedule. And we also have a system in place so that they're constantly being added to before they go into production. So if you can, I would say batch producing is definitely the way to go. I've just never been able to get my act together to do it, but I have a system that works for me.
That's awesome. Well, I want to thank you so much for hanging out with me. I know you said you had to go, but if people want to find you, you want to tell them where they can find you?
Everywhere, just at Dotto Tech, DOTTOTECH.
And you've got podcast and YouTube and Facebook group, and you've got everything.
And it's Facebook group for the old farts. If there's anybody old in the crowd, I got to do one shout out. Apparently, Scully, House of Thrills, binge watched me the other night, so I got to thank Scully for that. And
Scully's awesome. Yeah.
It's good to see you and hear your voice again. I miss.
Yeah,
I'm
you
looking
too.
forward to when we can see each other in person, but I think it might be a little ways away still.
I know. I think that the next Vid Summit might even. I don't know. I think that Daryl said there's going to be an email going out in the next couple of weeks about what's going on with it. I have this sneaking premonition that it's going to be virtual and then it won't be in person until next year. That's my guess.
Yeah, I think I'm on the roster as a speaker, but if he does do it live, I don't think I'm going to come. I'm not ready yet. I'm not.
Yeah,
ready yet.
I understand.
It's gonna be a while. Take my time.
Yeah. Well, thank you for hanging out with me. It was such a nice surprise.
It's nice to meet you.
Catch up. Yeah, absolutely. All right.
Thanks, Shelly. You take care.
Bye.
Bye now.
I'm going to remove you from the stream. You can always exit at your leisure there. Okay. So anyone else who is still out there, we had talked a little bit about being able to niche down at the very beginning, or being able to just kind of be a free-for-all and kind of do anything and see what sticks. So I think everybody that was on the panel has pretty much said niche, go narrow. And I am tossing my hat in that ring as well with that. So that is definitely one of the biggest things I would do at the beginning, is definitely niche down, because you really do find that if you want to grow faster and more consistently, you're going to want to train your audience on what type of content they can expect from you versus being so broad. And the reason that, Justin now can be as broad as he is because he has an audience of quite a large size that is going to be interested in maybe one, like you said, 1 out of every 4 videos or whatever. But you gain the right to go off topic from whatever your main thing is, I think, as you get bigger. But as you're just getting started, I really think that it would be in your best interest to go narrow. Okay, so that was actually longer than I wanted to, and we have other things, but we will just save them for another live stream. I want to thank everyone for coming out and hanging out with me. If you want to catch Justin, you can find him Primal Video. If you want to check out Steve, you can find him Steve Dotto Tech, and his podcast is Gray Matters. And if you want to check me out, you can find me on Shelly Saves today, but you should know that because you're on this stream. And I want to thank everyone for hanging out with me on a Sunday. I will schedule my next live stream so that y'all can support me when that happens. That's a promise. I will schedule my next live stream and let you know. Speaking of scheduled live streams, though, I believe I will be back on the TubeBuddy channel doing a live stream. And you know what, specifically, I think I originally was going to do this topic the last time I was going to be on their channel. There was a scheduling mix-up. I wasn't on the channel until something else. So I think I'm going to revisit it, even though I did a podcast episode on it. And based on kind of tonight what we were talking about, and that is going to be about how to niche down and what that really means. So if you want to check that out, it is going to be on Wednesday, June 16th. So not this Wednesday, but the following Wednesday. And I think I will tell Andrew that is what my topic is going to be on, is going to be niching specifically on YouTube and kind of like how to do it, what that means, all that good stuff. So if you want to check that out, I think the live stream, don't quote me yet, I think it's 2 p.m. in the afternoon on the TubeBuddy channel. So, but I'm sure they'll post it before that happens. So thank you everybody for your time on a Sunday night. I will catch you all in another live stream very soon. Bye.